Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to hear my friends across the aisle talk about investing in our future and investing in our economy. But when they talk about that, I think we have to be clear that that's code for borrowing and spending more money. And we should truly talk about the cost of this debt. We all know today that we owe $17 trillion in debt. And if the Federal Reserve stopped printing money, the actual cost to service this debt, to pay the interest payments, would be about $500 billion, $500 billion. You go out 10 years, and our debt is going to be $25 trillion. And minimally, to service our interest payments on that debt 10 years from now, it's going to cost us $750 billion a year, or $7.5 trillion over 10 years. And so you talk about the cost of interest payments every year to service the debt, that's $750 billion that isn't going into education, it's not going into health care, it's not going into roads or schools or helping our poor. It's $750 billion that goes to interest payments. And so when you talk about investing in our future, we're not doing that. We're mortgaging our children's future. But let's be clear. There is someone who is investing in their future. It's the Chinese. They're investing in their future, buying American debt. And so when my little girls, my little 2-year-old Mariví and my 4-year-old Paloma, when they get to be our age, they're going to have this weight of interest and debt around their neck, and they're going to pay those payments back to those Chinese preschoolers. This is not responsible. And to hear my colleagues across the aisle stand up and talk about a balanced approach that continues this course of massive red. This is what our children inherit, and say, this is what we want to give to them? Listen, if you ask moms around America, is this what you want for your children? Is this what you want them to inherit? Is this how you want them to invest their tax dollars? They would resoundingly stand up and say, heck no, be responsible, pay off the debt. We don't want them to have their massive tax dollars go to interest payments. You know, my friends across the aisle, they talk again about borrowing and spending and investing in our economy. And when they use that language, it sounds eerily familiar to the same language they used 4 years ago. This is the same argument that was used to borrow $1 trillion to help us grow our economy, create massive new jobs. The bottom line is that $1 trillion stimulus failed. We want a responsible approach, balance the budget, grow our economy, put our hard-working middle-class families back to work. The Republican budget actually does that. I would ask all my colleagues to actually support the Republican budget. I yield back.